Hello, hello. This is going to be the final take, hopefully. I had to pray about this. I keep wigging this out by not getting the pages fit into the time. Or, oh, let me flip this around. See, this is this, and then I flip it around, and it's this. So, yeah, this is just basically saying what is up. And set that there. Okay. This here is the first page. Tip this thing up because I got it on a tripod now. And then show you the chapters. Of course, I started doing Y and just reading it, audiobook, but wow, it takes way too long. So I'm going to let you read it at your speed, and I'm going to take and just skim through these pages really quick. This is public domain. You can take any sections of this. Try to keep it in its original if you can, but if, whatever. I'd like the whole thing to go out as an original if it can, but if you're going to quote stuff or whatever, want to rearrange something, go for it. Make it more modern, add something cool. I'm going to try to, oh sorry, did I get that little corner in there? Yeah. I'm going to try to go faster so I don't end up not having time. I'm trying to fit this into an hour. Yeah, so I'm going to get talking to you guys. This whole thing is in honor of the Bible. It's going to be gone soon. False Christ is going to come and zap the Bible with Mandela effects. When the false Christ is actually here, he's going to say, oh, that old King James, that thing's so corrupt, but it's not. And he's going to change it to this, newer, to this updated sort of. Here's the real one, he's going to say. But a lot of you guys won't even see that. Because all the people the devil thinks is his enemy, he's going to fry as he goes around as the false Christ. Every little detail of him, of the real Jesus, is about to be imitated. Even as he spins around the earth, he's going to resurrect people, like literally, supposedly, we'll think they're resurrected. They're literally, what's going to happen is he's going to have his devils look like they're coming out of the ground in the form and looking and talking like the dead people. Most of them are going to go straight up to the sun. But a lot of them are going to hang out, the ones that died recently. They're going to hang out and they're going to convince people to worship the sun. So yeah, those are all this Easter, those are all the dead supposedly from heaven. And supposed dead, but they're just imitating. And we're going to see all the dead from hell on the 4th of July. When CERN busts open and they come pouring out, acting like they were hanging out in hell being tortured, and now they're here to torture us, and they're going to terrorize the world for months until Halloween comes, and then the sun worshippers do the sun worshiping rituals and listen to the sun god and the moon god, or the fake Jesus and the fake father, and they act like they went away, They stop terrorizing the world, and the people become even more sun worshippers. Every holiday is going to get more and more intense. So this Bible's going to be going bye-bye. So this is a tribute to it before it does. Like, we've seen the Lion and the Lamb. I don't care how old your Bible is. I don't care if you had it in a vault. I don't care if it's, you've been watching it every second. It doesn't say lion will lay down with the lamb or lion will feed with the lamb. It's just simply gone. It's changed to the wolf now. Isaiah 11:6, 65:25. And there's other stuff that changed. This King James is becoming a new King James, with trespasses and bottles and things like that. But it's going to change doctrinally soon. God's showing us clues of what's about to happen. And of course, out in the world, you got like Mickey Mouse's suspenders and the Monopoly guy and all these standard ones. And actually hundreds of changes all around us. I'm not into hypnosis and watching TV. I haven't been for decades. And I never really got into it, but I used to eat a lot of food chemicals and get into standard Babylonian stuff. And people that are hypnotized and shutting their brain down, they seem to remember some of them and not others, and then others remember the other some and not the some that the ones remember. And so our brains are being messed with too with this Mandela effect. But me, when I talk, I remember all of them that I can originally remember. And when I talk to people, Mennonites, people that are not part of this system of movies, music, and food chemicals and all that stuff, electrical waves all around us, when people are not part of that system, they tend to remember all of them that they can remember originally. Get out and I talk to just crazy amounts of people. I have been for a long time. And people know what's going on. They just, a lot of times, have a bunch of puzzle pieces that they haven't put together. So anyways, yes, the Bible is awesome, and this is the old school Bible. This is KJV with a little modern sort of twist as I go along, and concordance. And so I guess, we shouldn't change the Bible. But hey, God's prophets can. The false Christ can do it. I can do it. We're supposed to know it and have it in our hearts because God's in our hearts. We're supposed to live it out in whatever ways, Sometimes, we're going to say a straight verse, but we live out the verses. We are God's Bible. Some of these people don't have a chance to see this stuff or never did. And we are the ones that represent a living epistle, known and read by all around us. We're the ones. So don't trip out, and I hear it all the time, God's word never changes. It doesn't. It's still there, recorded in heaven, recorded in our hearts and minds. But that verse, in the OT, it says, they're going to go to and fro, from sea to sea and from the east to the west, searching for the word of God, and won't be able to find it. There'll be a drought for it. It's coming. So many are going to get wiped out, though, that it's like it's a new restart. It's a new world almost. It's the big time of trouble, and the little time is. So anyways, this simple science is great, but when we start looking at the science of, this, I can't even say FLAT, Earth. People are programmed to shut down when I say it, and I don't even believe it. I think it's garbage. But there's a lot of truth. Both sides are half right. I'm a big earther. We're on top of a humongous earth that's big enough to have enough room for an embassy for every intelligent being that exists now and will exist. We had a real sun out there. The sun's so big, the Bible says it's 7 times as bright as the light of 7 days. The moon's as bright as the sun. It's the sun's so big wherever I go in the universe, I'll say that giant star, that brightest star is home. The other beings will say that's where we go to church. It's not like God's trying to deceive us with these things, with the refraction that he made and vanishing points and things, and the moon, and he's trying to give the devil every platform to prove his point. The devil's point is selfishness, and God's point is love. It's charity. It's given without expecting anything in return, just because we know it's right, of our time, of our energy, of us. And so, God allows this to play out because he's dividing the heart. And it's going to be so overwhelming and so just wild that if we don't have the special protection of God, we will receive the strong delusion and believe that God is in the sun and Jesus just came down from the moon. It's going to be a different world. This is going to get any Bible verses. It's enough to get people killed, quoting them, rewriting them. My stuff will probably be touched. When I wrote Lion and the Lamb, it now says, wolf. These verses here, they might not last. You might be watching this, reading this, and you might say, wow, It's not the same as he says it was. It's not. It's saying different things. Getting this out. I don't know. Maybe it won't change for a couple months until a month or something, or a couple weeks after the false Christ gets here. Maybe this is just for a week. I just love the Bible, and I want to get a remembrance of it out, even if it's just for a week, Even if it's just to get a bunch of people in, It's just, man, God is so great. And he not only gave us his word 2,000 years ago, roughly, but just recently, we had a prophet, Ellen White, that was so many details. And even now we got Bob Dylan with all the details in all the songs. The greatest prophet for God. Of course, the greatest prophet for the other side is, John Lennon. The Beatles, they're such sun worshippers, and they don't mind singing about killing people when times change. And do your duty well. We used to say live and let live. Now we say live and let die, in this ever-changing world. Do your job well. Give the other fella hell. Sure, at first it's going to look fluffy and wonderful, and people are just going to be convinced to worship the sun. But after a while, it gets forceful. People get so obsessed that we're causing the plagues. These Sabbath keepers on Saturday, Of course, they'll say Sabbath is Sunday. But these Saturday keepers and these people that refuse to take the Mass. This stuff's pretty cool, creation science. But when you start seeing the verses and the stuff on the science of the shape of this earth, how in the world can anyone... You just can't deny that there's some kind of creator if you live in a snow globe. And we have a loving creator that gets his message through to us. And even if we've never even heard of anything or even been part of society or lived thousands of years ago, he comes to us personally, and then he judges us according to the light that we've seen and been exposed to. And everything else, our mental abilities, our personality type, how we've been raised. God is good. He's not trying to keep people out. He might have somebody get sick. And the only time they come to him is when they're sick. And he might actually allow them to die during this sickness. Because he's after the big picture. He wants people saved. He doesn't want people, I'm just going to make them comfortable here, as comfortable as they can. And then if they're lost, they're lost. Oh well. We have to pray for God's will first and foremost in everything. Especially in these times we live in, just like Jesus. He worked through man, He was half man, half God. He worked through man. And, the devil's going to do the same thing. He's going to possess one person and act like he's going to come down doing all kinds of insane stuff. With these Mandela effects and stuff. But it starts off insane too. Right before the Easter, we're going to have a giant earthquake. We're going to have a fast that starts Thursday night, a nationwide 3-day fast. And, I don't know, maybe I got to go faster with these. I'm only on 52. If I got to cut this in chunks, I will. So he literally has these huge nukes and crap strung all along the fault lines. He's going to shake the crap out of this earth. He works through man, He makes technology and stuff smaller and smaller and smaller. And bigger too, He's got this Chinese sun up there, this sun simulator. And I'm going to start zipping these out. You guys can just pause them. You're going to pause them anyway. I got to speed these up if I'm going to get this through. So he's got this sun simulator, and a moon simulator, and a stars simulators. And they're going to play out this giant Catholic Mass in the sky. These lights and stuff, and these machines up there. So they're going to call a 3-day fast. They're going to have the earth shake. They're going to call a 3-day fast. They're going to say, on the biggest stage, the biggest Protestant in front of, Rome, they're going to say, help us, God. And the sun's going to shut off. Darkness at the break of noon, And the moon's going to go blood red, like dripping red up high in the sky in the middle of the day. It's going to put a weird, eerie red light everywhere on this side of the earth, you know. And the sun's going to come over to it, just like the Mass. The sun goes to the moon, you know, and they put the moon, slide the moon into the sun, and everyone worships it. And just like back in the day, when we used to say, no, that's not, now you refuse to take it, or say, no, that's not the actual body of Jesus, they used to kill you. And it's coming again. You know, these are typologies. They've been typologies. They've been little plays and figures for hundreds of years and thousands of years with some stuff. And it's about to happen on a huge, huge scale. I had to go quicker to fit these into an hour. So yeah, the earthquakes, the sun, the giant fast. They start the music and the freaking. They start all the church service that's live, and right before noon, you know, sun goes dark, and then the moon goes red, and then the sun comes to it, and as it gets close, the moon steps in front of it, in front of the sun, and it goes to black, but it's like red first, and then it goes to black as the sun rainbow coronas, beautiful colors in the night sky. And it's supposedly Jesus was living in the sun. That's why it's blood red, and everyone, you know, trips out at the sun, you know, the moon. Supposedly Jesus was living in the moon. God's living in the sun. And, you know, Jesus is our size. It's just, that's his home, supposedly. The same way with God, you know, that's just his home. It's the light and the glory that comes off from our God, you know. He's actually supposedly got other shields inside to protect us from his true, intense glory. You know, that's how great he is. He's going to shield himself even more when he comes down as God the Father on Christmas at midnight, just like God the Son, you know, at Easter at noon. So anyways, yeah, you're going to have this, the moon go blood red, and the sun comes to it, and the dark sun, and it steps in front of it, and rainbow coronas, because Jesus stepped from the moon to the sun. Now he's with his dad. You know, they used to just eclipse and come by each other and say hi. But now they're actually in the same building, you know. Everyone's tripping out. And as it's dark, rainbow coronas, here comes the moon, or the stars too. And they join the party, and it gets even brighter. You know, they drive over to the sun. And then this shield that restarts, for they're restarting the Chinese fireworks, and they're restarting the reactor. You know, it drifts away aimlessly, like it used to be the home of, you know, Jesus, and now he's with his dad, and now, you know, they're in the same thing, and now they're with the angels. So it drifts away aimlessly, and later the false Christ sends Gabriel up to relight it and watch over us. But it's just part of the act, you know. So on this bright sun, you know, it goes around, and it does a spin around the equator belt. And as it goes around, they, you know, send out an intense 5G pulse, and it triggers these little sun disks that are in us. And these little disks, one of their 19 functions is to corona sun it. They're little corona suns, you know, they're little suns that are in us. And they light up, they self-destruct. And people fry from supposedly the glory of Jesus as he goes around the earth with his dad and the angels. And that's not it. As they go around, also, the devils pour out of the ground looking like dead people that are going up to the sun to be with God in heaven, you know. And but some of them don't go. The ones that recently died stay around, and they try to convince us to worship the sun and Rome and the Pope. Oh, sorry, I gotta speed these up. I'm trying to go slow. As long as I line them up, you guys will see them. I'm gonna have to start really flying with these. So, yeah, he spins around. People are coming up out of the graves and the waters and all these spots, and they're going up into heaven. And some are staying around, and, you know, the people that are alive are gonna fry. Some of the Adventists around the country, they don't have these robots in them. And the 144,000 are, you know, they're going to have this Jesus shield that I got a sample of when I was sealed not last December, the December before last. It's this awesome, just fluffy white Jesus cloud that nothing can get through or out. And it's indescribable. Even the breaths and the tiredness is indescribable. But they're going to get through this. They're shielded. Mine lasted 50 days, and then it faded off. I didn't know exactly, but it seemed like it was 50 days. Because I don't believe in time. I don't keep track of time. I don't believe in money. I don't believe in a lot of this stuff. Silliness. So, as he goes around, and then he's going to stop where he started, above D.C. He's going to come down. They're going to say, "Come on down, God." On their live thing. And fire is going to be called down from heaven, from the image of the beast, in front of the beast, Sort of these woman riding the beast, the church controlling the government. And pagan Rome will turn into papal Rome. And this, the 10 divisions, the United Nations divisions we're under, are going to, one little horn's going to pop up out of it, Yeah, it happened before, but it's all typologies. And 3 sort of systems are going to say, "Hang on a minute," and their leaders are going to be taken out. And then 7's going to be left, It's like it's all going to play out. It's been planned. It's been shown. These typologies. Even the holidays for thousands of years, they're all going to play out. The god of fertility in the spring coming to make everything new. We're going to have brand new flowers and stuff. It's going to be wild. It's going to be nuts. These brand new flowers out of every plant supposed to have, a fruit. Every single plant, a fruit in a beautiful, fragrant fruit and a flower too to start with. Fragrant flower and a beautiful fruit. Sorry, I'm talking funny because I'm really trying to pay attention to getting this lined up with both edges and rolling it straight for you. Not too slow so it messes up the focus. So anyways, he's going to come down and he's going to do a show for everybody. Like the American Pie song, He's going to do a show for everyone, and he's going to play with John Lennon, play with the rest of the Beatles, He's going to be impersonated. And they're going to, Michael Jackson will be impersonated, do a moonwalk up on stage, Like the false Christ. It's with the man from the moon, It just came down from the moon. It's going to be wild. And the whole world's going to party because they really think this is it. This is all the enemies are dead that would say, "Hang on a minute, we don't worship the sun." The people that were hooting and hollering and warning about this stuff are going to be fried. People around are going to... And afterwards, we're only going to get a quarter. We're under the first and second, horsemen right now. This little time of trouble Mrs. White told us about. But we're about to be under the big time of trouble. The third and fourth horsemen. And we're only getting a quarter out of that group. It's the first 3 plagues out of 10. 7 last will start in a year and a week from now. But it always starts off, the plagues. They start off with the staffs turning into serpents. Little staffs. Then the big staff says, "No, I'm the real one." And wipes out the little ones. It says, the false Christ says, "See, I'm Moses' staff." Those other ones were from the Egypt. They were from the Pharaoh. Now we got, we got Babylon. Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar used to say, how once in a while he'd say, follow Daniel's God, and he'd say, that this is, he would say that this is, sorry, I got cars going by too. Yeah, Babylon is, worship Daniel's God, but kill anybody that doesn't type stuff. Nebuchadnezzar and all that. And, Egypt, the Pharaoh is like, who is God that I should obey him? One is false Christianity, the other one's just Satanism, just general no Christianity. It's We're under the pagan Roman Empire, the Jesuit order and stuff, and the old system, the old ways. All the changing of the guards, all the old ways are about to be, and some of these guys will even die for their cause. They'll be willingly killed from these mobs because they believe that the end justifies the means. Like the captain of the Titanic, They care about Rome so much and their boss so much and the boss's boss that they're willing to die, just like Christians are. The devil's counterfeited everything. Even the Protestant Reformation was counterfeited, and it will be. So he comes down making everything new and saying he's the real deal. And he's not. Brand new flowers and stuff on fruit, on plants. And in the fall we'll see the fruits of the flowers. It'll develop more and more, and people will be like, what is this going to be like? What is this going to taste like? But we'll see even more just instantly up here that we didn't see grow at Thanksgiving. Because at Thanksgiving, the false Christ makes tables full of new heavenly foods and says, this is what's going to be in heaven. All we got to do, this is what's going to be right here. All we got to do is get rid of or convince or get rid of these people that are not on the same page. When all the world is in one, as one, that's when the new heaven's coming. That's when the plagues will stop. And even like I said, the Halloween thing is all about getting the dead to go back to hell and getting the people to go back where they got to go. And they're going to run through the rituals of Halloween. And they're going to have kids dress up, scary. And, so the ghosts don't come back to the home and they have nowhere to go. You put all the lights out in your house. And when they follow all these old pagan holidays in a modern way, they're going to, the devil will answer their prayers. It's his 42 months. He's handed full control of everything. And it sounds nuts that God would allow these things and all this trickery. But he's given the devil every chance possible to prove his point. He's letting sin get so bad that we're going to look back with a perfect mind from a perfect world and say, wow, never again. And every person in heaven is going to say, I don't care if this starts up 1,000,000 years from now again, this independence, this selfishness, in a different planet, billions of light years away or whatever. I'm going to go stop it. Logically, physically, whatever. Talk them out of it. It's going to never happen again. God promises us that. And he has to let it show what it really truly is. Or else, sorry, I don't know if you caught that last word. Or else, it's just not going to, it literally has to be this way. We just got to trust God. Who cares? We're getting a brand new body. We're going home. This whole world sucks. So I'm at page 113 and I'm at a half an hour. I think I'm going to have 2 sections. It's a cool book, it's worth 2 sections. It's worth checking this out. I really spent a lot of energy and time in prayer, in this. And even the mistakes, the spelling mistakes and funny mistakes where it's like the wrong word or whatever, I've looked back and I've seen, wow, there's some kind of symbolism, there's some kind of depth to even the mistakes. And I'm not saying I was a prophet back then, I don't know. I know I am now. It's just, it's not something you go around saying, because then I base it on, I'm following the Word of God. I'm following, look, watch me, look at my life. Like, what am I doing? How do I act? The fruits, you just will know them. Sure, the false Christ is going to come and instantly make bad people nice and instantly get rid of people's depressions and all this other stuff. It don't matter. They're still going to start killing people. God had to fight different in the Old Testament. It was a different world. It was a different war. The devil was running everything. He was running everything. He had power and control of everything. It literally was a different world. So anyways, I should actually just stop this at a half an hour. Just do half an hour sections. Because it seems to go on the computer a lot nicer. So I'm going to say, we're stopping here on page 119, and I'll see you again in the part 2. Love ya. Bye.